Philadelphia Eagles start their revenge tour to winning the Super Bowl after a close loss in last year's final game of the season against the New England Patriots and their new offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. How are the Patriots and Mac Jones going to do in the first game under the system? Be sure to watch the rest of this video as Ryan and I break down the game, and at the end, we will predict who we think is going to win. But before we do that, be sure to like this video, comment, let us know who you think is going to win, and also be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
Your boys, the Patriots, they have a tough first game.
I think this is about the toughest first game that you could have. Maybe going into Kansas City, although now Travis Kelce's injured on Thursday night when they drop the banner. That could be tougher. This team, I think, is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove after a close loss in that Super Bowl. And I think they're going to make a statement out of my New England Patriots on Sunday.
Well, and that's one of the things, too, because you can make an argument that the offense for Kansas City hasn't, like maybe is weakened a little bit. I don't feel that way at all with Philadelphia. Yes, they lost Miles Sanders, but they got DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. Statistically, they both should be able to replace Miles Sanders' stats from last year. But on top of that, it's like you still got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. You got Jalen Hurts leading the way. You got Jason Kelce leading that offensive line. And a sleeper pick, I will say, watch Olamide Zaccheaus in the slot. He did come from the Falcons. I really enjoyed him. He had great opportunity in Atlanta. I kind of wish that they would have kept him, but I understand why they couldn't. But that being said, though, and then on the defensive side of the ball, they did lose Javon Hargrave, but then they were able to replace him with Jalen Carter. And then they have young Jordan Davis also to replace him as well. They'll be rotating with Fletcher Cox on the defensive interior. It's still just a dominant defense just all around. Yeah, it's a tough game for the Patriots to start the season, especially I kind of, in a lot of my picks, if there's a new offensive coordinator, new offense, or just a new head coach, I'm typically leaning away from them in week one. Just historically, I don't have the stats in front of me.
I will say New England's offense can't get worse after last year.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is a great point.
I could have been calling plays off of Madden and done about the same job as Matt Patricia and Joe Judge.
I feel like the playbook in Madden was better than y'all's playbook.
It could have been, yeah. At least you could have picked from different systems and things like that. So who knows? True. But anyways, I just think you look at this game and like what the Patriots do well, the Eagles do better. Patriots, their offensive line, I know they've had some ups and downs through camp, but they should be able to run the ball pretty well most of the year. The Eagles have a phenomenal run defense. Patriots may have a slight weakness at the offensive tackle. The Eagles probably have the best pass rush, if not definitely have the best pass rush in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Their corners are good. And then not to mention the dual threat ability of Jalen Hurts is going to give this Patriots a lot of trouble. And historically, this defense has struggled with dual threat quarterbacks. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jalen Hurts is handled. And then you throw in the element of Christian Gonzalez is most likely going to be making his first start against Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, which is just like that is a tough duo to start against. So all in all, the Eagles are going to come in here and I'm pretty sure put a hurting on the Patriots. If it's a close game, I would actually be somewhat surprised.
I think it'll be close. I don't think we should sell the Patriots that short. It's just going to be – yeah, I know. That's fair. I think it's just the sum of all the parts. And it's going to be a new offensive system. And that also being – and to be fair, there's a new offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. But I've a feeling, though, that Nick Sirianni was more calling the plays last year.
Apparently it was 50-50. Shane Steichen had a pretty heavy input into a lot of the plays that were – put into the system and called in games. But then obviously Nick Sirianni was the final decision maker on that.
Yeah. And so I'm not as concerned about that change in system. Also, too, I guess just in comparison as what we talked about, is just the Patriots, in comparative, the Patriot system last year was just god-awful. So there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, from Bill O'Brien. So I am leaning towards Philadelphia. It's kind of one of those, just like I'm looking at, like, not to overthink it. It just don't want to overconvince
Yeah.
myself on all these things. I feel like just don't overthink it. This is the majority pick. I would say majority of the people are going to be picking the Eagles to win this game.
The only way I could really see New England winning is they need to come in, take full advantage of some Philadelphia turnovers, because as we saw in the Super Bowl, those do happen sometimes, just like the unfortunate fumble. And so try to take advantage of those situations, keep Mac Jones upright in the pocket, and just try not to give up any big plays, make this Philadelphia team march down the field consistently. And even then, I think if they are able to do that, I still lean towards Philadelphia in that manner. So we're both leaning towards Philadelphia. I don't think there's a whole lot more to discuss here. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to win this game, the New England Patriots or the Philadelphia Eagles. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.